Well, we're back again with another video, and this time it's kind of more of an updated thoughts on the patch number 4 that came out a couple weeks ago, because um, I think me and other people have discovered more broken things with this game. Honestly, it's at the point now where it's kind of amazing how bad it is. It broke the game even more. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, basically, yellows are they work in terms of when they come out. That's bravo. But every time a yellow comes out, it's never a guarantee if you're even on the lead lap. Not only for yourself, but multiple other cars as well. And it's at the point where there's no use to even put cautions on. Like a racing game that it's so far removed from even being called that anymore, because it has ignored and neglected like the basic fundamental rules for NASCAR, like no stages, no fucking mirror anywhere, at least in terms of the console version. Now the yellows don't even work, and can't mention stages if I didn't even do that, because my brain is turned into putty after trying to comprehend the dumpster fire that this game is. But yeah, it broke things more, and this is why patches aren't always the end all be all answer to these things, because it can fix one thing but then break another, which is all the why more important to release a finished game. And we still, again, since I last made this video, the company's been very silent in terms of addressing these problems. I said this in my other video, but other bigger companies, whether you like them or not, Rockstar, CDPR, or CD Projekt Red, my voice cracked, but when those games released in a disastrous state, there was either a video of the person at a CDPR coming out and addressing issues, or Rockstar making a post. Motorsport Games has not done any of that. They've basically just hid from everything, and to completely ignore the problems or say that the only thing we've gotten is them saying we hear your feedback and are working to improve it. That's basically all we've ever heard. Which, again, they know what the problems are. They knew damn well what the game was like before it launched. So us telling them what these issues were before it even came out, they knew. They knew exactly what these problems were. They're not stupid. At least I would hopefully assume not. So, yeah, patch 4 broke shit even more, and even when the game went on Steam sale, no one's still playing it. Even when they give it to the players for free for like 4 days, from the 17th to the 21st, the player count barely at all went up. So even when people are being literally given it to them for free, or at a extremely low price, I don't know if it was free or low price, I don't know. But the point is, the player count thing didn't even go up on Steam. It's once again amazing the way this game came out and how bad it is, and their share prices, their stocks, because since this game is a publicly traded company, we're able to see their business like investor calls, and also their stock prices. Their stock price now is at like $4.30, which it was originally at $31.38 earlier in the year. And the fact it's dropped down that much, that is around 87% of a drop. I mean, that is catastrophic. I don't know. I mean, they are in a situation where they've made such a bad game, and for once, I think the community has realized how bad it is, that they're speaking with their wallet, and that's good. That is a really good thing, in fact. I mean, I mean, from an outsider looking in, trying to explain the problems to a casual person, it's baffling that, you know, like certain things like a mirror isn't even in a game, in a racing game, or like a fuel indicator or tire wear thing, or the fact that, you know, you can't even have your name on the back of the hood of the thing of the car. Like, what is that? Or how many rules aren't even really applied. It's just a whole plethora of things. And we can't even forget about how they botched even DLC. They can't even try to take your money right. It's pitiful. I mean, it is just downright embarrassing. This is Eugenics level. Eugenics was bad at this, where they misspelled Chase Elliott's name and other shit when they released like DLC and stuff, and they couldn't do DLC for the 2013 cars because if they were able to put it in the game, it would just break the whole thing. So they couldn't do it after they promised people that they would do it, and then it didn't do it. And that was shitty. This, they can't even rip you off right. Both of the Legend cars that they gave you have problems. Like Darren Walter, first of all, the car is like red. Like the bottom part of the car is red, which is the wrong color because his car was orange there. So they can't even get the color right on that. How do you fuck that up? I mean, random people in iRacing NR03 can accurately get the paint schemes down, but these people can't. How does that happen? How does that go? Like, it's just, again, embarrassing. And the Matt Kenseth one almost looks good, but the back of the car just has a green circular rectangle, which is supposed to be where the Lexar sponsor is, but I guess they couldn't get the licensing for it, so they just left it as a green, rectangle. Like, at that point, just fucking remove it, because it just looks dumb. Like, again, they can't even do that right. It's, oh my god, it's just, like, it's one thing after another. Now we can't even have yellows. If you have yellows, sometimes it breaks the game where, like, it just puts you a lap down, other people a lap down, and, I mean, it just continues to be one of the worst NASCAR games ever. I mean, I can't think of one that came out of the box this bad. And I know I've compared, like, Rockstar and CDPR and even the Bethesda games. Like, I never really mentioned them before, but Bethesda has notoriously horrendous launch with Fallout 76. But the thing is with those games is they've already had past success. So when they did have this big fuck up, it was a gigantic fuck up. This is their first impression, and they came out of the gate like not even opening up the gate. They went backwards. It's like when you're playing co-op for the first time and you make the player run backwards. I mean, that's basically you're like negative yardage gained. It's just it's unbelievable. It's really sad. And at this point, even if they do go under, who takes over? Honestly, I would just be fine with no NASCAR game at this point. I would just be fine with that one. If this is the kind of quality that we're going to be getting, then I'm just better without it. Because this is just embarrassing. And, like, even on the consoles, like, every time I do a race, there's always some bizarre technical issue, whether the frames stop, where it could be running fine, and then all of a sudden the frames stop, or I look behind me and the camera, like, literally lags, or, like, in the data pad, like, that lags. Like, just a lot of bizarre technical things that make it an absolute mess. It's just one thing after another, and then this is why patches, like I said, patches aren't always the answer, because this is what happens. Sometimes it could fix one thing and break others, and you're seeing it. A very clear example of it. I'm basically doing this video's like the Let's Play I'm currently doing now is because, one, just to add something to the channel. Two, it's just kind of funny to see how unbalanced the game's difficulty is on extreme. Where one track at Richmond, I could be destroying the field, almost lapping them, and then go to like Homestead and be 2 laps down. Like, the difficulty is some of the most wildly and radically different from track to track that I've ever seen. There's other games where it's definitely not all the way there. Like, some tracks are a little bit easier and then harder. I mean, this is like night and day difference at some of these tracks. So, I mean, it's kind of a meme series, but if you look across the board, I mean, there's no big content creators really covering. I mean, Radman's still trying, but it's just a dumpster fire. Every race, something goes wrong. It's kind of amazing. I mean, I don't know, and like, considering that they're off, I'm assuming they're going to be off for the holidays. That's just even more time that this game is going to be remained broken, and I don't think it's going to get fixed. There's just so many issues, so many things wrong. They can't even do the DLC shit right. And there's other reports too. Austin Oganowski, props to him for finding this. Back in January, there was an article from Bloomberg about investors suing Motorsport Games before they even really went like public in the stock market and other stuff. So I just think this is just a colossal misfire on almost all fronts. This is like biblical proportions of bad. I mean, it has reached like supernova levels of bad. I mean, Heat Evolution wishes it could be this bad. Like, I mean, it's amazing. I don't even know what more to say other than thank goodness and thank God the community seems like they are pushing back. Like, other casual players, other people are realizing how bad and a mess this is, and they're speaking with their wallet and just not giving them their money. So props to them. I think this is a good step forward, and I think, this needs to happen more often, where if something is clearly broken, don't support it. Don't support that practice. I mean, even with people that are trying to make videos on the game, they're not enjoying it. Like, it's just like there's some issues every track to some big degree and some that are small, but across the board there's always something going wrong. And the leaderboard freaking out. Almost every fundamental aspect there's something like wrong. And I mean, it's on the Unreal Engine. You would think maybe that would be a good thing, but like Disco Inferno said a long time ago, that I originally didn't agree with, but I was thinking about it as I got into an old man. That these game engines are just a blank canvas, and it's all comes down to the person behind the painter behind that to construct that into something nice. Obviously Unreal Engine has more potential, but there's been obviously some big time issues with the R-Factor engine with like the oval side of things, and it's been a known issue for a long time. And even down to how the restarts happen. Even restarts could be broken. If you wreck and then a caution comes out, it will remember like your last input. So if you're trying to save the car and turning to the car to the right, on the restart, it'll remember that you were last turning the car to the right, and it'll just turn you into the wall. And if you have cautions on, I mean, it could be a never-ending loop of that happening. Damn near. I mean, it's just broken. I mean, just straight up a mess. And we're not even getting into the fact of when yellows come out, if they happen at a certain point in the race, say if a race is 50 laps, it'll just keep adding laps. So like if you're at like lap 35 and then you have a yellow, then when you come back to green, it'll be like lap 35 of 52 when it was supposed to be like 50 laps or something. And then it just keeps extending that. But then the race will end at the original 50 laps when you're on assumingly the same lead lap as everyone else, but you're like multiple laps down. So nothing really makes sense. Other AI cars are a lap down as well. This happened to me at Daytona. I mean that's unacceptable. But I'm going to assume that could be fixed in a patch because that's such a consistent issue that they can replicate it in their data to fix it. But I mean, what else? I mean, it just adds on to the legacy of this nightmare with things going wrong. I mean, man, it's just one thing after another. How long can they realistically last if their stocks are going to continue to drop and their investors aren't buying their bullshit of people believing that the majority, feedback has flipped, which is such a blatant, bold-faced lie that I'm going to assume their investors just aren't buying that. Like, you can't bullshit people like that. This is like a whole other story where, this is like a whole other tangent where, like, somebody messages me and they say to me that they don't like small talk, but then on Twitter, you see them constantly, like, replying to people making small talk, like a form of it, and then they're just bullshitting me. Like, you can only bullshit someone so much and realize, and that's, like, the thing is, when you lie like that, when it's such a blatant, bold-faced lie, in Motorsport Games' case, like, they're going to get found out. Like, they're going to realize that that's not the case. And the fact, even if they're saying this to impress their investors of, an Ultimate Team idea, this game can't even be working. It can't even be worked properly, and they're thinking about more ways to monetize it. I mean, the fact that Ryan Moody, who covers Madden like games, who knows Madden a lot, admits that game works and runs better and does things better than NASCAR, that says a fuck ton on the state that this game is in, that it's worse than Madden. I wish Angry Joe would make a video on this game. I really do. Because, like, that would be Jimmy Broadbent already made a video, talking about the game and how broken it is. That's like 200,000 views. But yeah, I don't know. It needs something like that where, like, Angry Joe makes the video and explains, like, how, like, you don't even have to be a hardcore NASCAR fan to realize something's wrong. It's like obvious. This isn't a thing where you need to be a super duper hardcore fan. I'm not even talking about like the Lucky Dogs, how they don't even have those, or how, when you go down pit road, there's no speed, like, mile per hour thing, or like to even indicate you on that stuff, or just like, oh my god, it's just like that's the point. Like, or like how you don't have to adhere to staying under the line when you're down pit, when you're on pit road trying to get out on the track, you can't merge too soon. Like, we're not even getting into all those small details, or even like the choose cone rule, or we're not even getting into all, like, the small things. This is like it's a oh my god, it's a disaster. I don't know what really more to say other than patch 4 is more broken than I even originally thought. But more things keep coming out, like, what Austin has kind of discovered and looked up, and yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. It's kind of a shame to see it be in this sort of state and everything. I don't think. I when I was making theories on what this game would be like, I was expecting it to be better than Heat Evolution. That was like the bare fucking minimum. We didn't even get that. That's sad. So I don't know, but those are my thoughts. It seems like people really like it when I talk about this game in a ranty form. So there you go. That'll do it for me. I guess I'll make another video if something else changes or something else wild comes up. But I'm just kind of enjoying the ride and seeing where this crazy arc takes us. I mean, it's wild. But yeah, either way, that'll do it for me. I'll see you all later, and have a good day, everyone.